sorry about all that. We are trying to figure this out. First time um, painting live, so be patient with us. Um, I went live just a second ago and it did not actually open up. So I'm going to start all over again. Tyler is helping me get it set up and share the links and everything like that. Um, so yeah, I Tyler approached me about 4 years ago, I think, and told me that he thought I should start painting live. And I told him there's no way I'm doing that. It's too vulnerable, it's too hard. And then my pastor came and talked to me. He was praying for me and kind of asked me the same things like, hey, I see you painting live on YouTube. Have you ever considered that? I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. That's too scary. It's too hard. And a few months ago, my very good friend asked me if I would paint a prophetic painting for her. She said that she was seeing a fish with a coin in its mouth, and it had some significance to her and her husband. And she asked me if I would paint it for her, and I was like, maybe I'll think about it. And then as we were kind of talking and hanging out, I started seeing this fish, and I started seeing that it was blue and it was red. And I told her, I was like, as we're hanging out, we're just having coffee. I'm like, I keep seeing this picture of this blue and red fish. And she's like, yeah, it's blue and red. That's what I was seeing too. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, okay. So yes, I'll paint your painting because I believe that I'm seeing it. I feel like God is allowing me to see um, the fish that you're seeing, and I want to partner with you and do this. So I've been sitting on it for a few months now. Partially just life has been super busy, and partially just getting my courage up because it is tricky. It is vulnerable to paint in front of y'all. So, but I want to do it. I want to grow. I want to push past the nerves and do it anyway. And I think my motto has been for the last several years is like, just do it afraid. So I'm doing it afraid. I'm doing it anyway, not out of fear, mind you, like not afraid. Um, Perfect love is here, and there's no room for fear in that. So, but just with nerves, just being courageous, just doing it anyway, and setting my nerves aside, and we're gonna paint together. So this is the fish, and I'm gonna have my back towards you guys, just so that you guys can watch me paint. Um, as Holy Spirit leads, I will share whatever He's talking to me about as I paint. Um, as part of my process with co-creating with Him is that I'm constantly talking to Him. I'm talking to Him, God, what about this? And how do I do this? And what about that? And He leads me as I paint. So I'm not a trained artist. I'm self-taught, and I'm Holy Spirit taught, Holy Spirit led. And I think that's part of the nerves is that, um, I don't always know what I'm doing, and I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I can trust and I can lean in and I can just do it anyway. So, yeah, so join me, come along for the ride, and we're going to go for it. Okay. I chose to do a black canvas. I really wanted the fish to pop. And in order to get color to show up on a black canvas, you have to put white down. So it's almost like painting a little bit backwards in a sense, because instead of adding shadows, you're kind of adding the highlights. It's a little bit different, a little bit backwards from typical painting, but it's fun and not. I painted a few times with the black canvas, and I will not say that I am professional by any means. So just playing, and I think that that's the beauty of it, is just the ability to just play. So was going to play music, but YouTube will shut me down. So I'm not doing music. You just have to hum your own songs. I think Tyler got me going. Yahoo! So now I can see chats. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me there. Gotta rearrange my paints. I've got too much paint over here that it's taking up my space. Gotta move some things around here so I can function. Sometimes when I start a painting, it's like I don't know where to start. So just trying to look at the whole thing and make sure that I'm I don't know. I mean, it's always tricky to start a painting and know where to start from, what to do first for me. Um, and sorry, my daughter just texted me, so I'm telling her to text dad. I can't be texting her and painting, so dad's gonna have to take care of things. So, like I was saying, it's kind of a tricky thing for me to um, know what I want to start on first. But I know that this little guy, I made him have a very interesting eye, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. I think that's part of the fun is um, getting to just create, right? That's why we like to paint, is to create, come up with new things. I'm not loving that paintbrush. It's not doing what I want it to do. So I'm going to try a different one here. So I thought about having it zoomed in a little bit more, so you could kind of see better, but I didn't want it to only be zoomed in one spot and then not have you be able to see the whole painting unfold. So I left it a little bit back so that you could kind of see it unfold, I guess. I had a lot of fun drawing this little guy. He's a interesting looking little feller. Hold on just a second. She How do I mute it? Just and what if it turns? I don't know. Well, I'm already talking to you anyway. So, um, here you can read her message. Mhm. This is life. You can or you can't. It's your decision. My daughter texted me just as I was going live, and she said, "What's for dinner?" They've been out at their grandparents working today, and I told her that we were going to have BLTs, and she said that they were making chili and she wanted chili, which is also on the menu for this week, but I think it's for tomorrow. And then she's like texting me, and I'm like, "You have to text dad because I can't respond to you right now." So Ty just came in and asked me what we're gonna do. So I have never ever drawn or painted a fish. So this is a new experience for me. Um, they're very weird looking, to be honest. Um, I don't really like, I mean, they're weird looking. You obviously can tell by looking at them, but to draw it, I'm like, wow, they're they're weird. Their little guppy lips and their big giant eyes, and I'm like, it just makes me marvel that much more at God's creativity. Um, like he just doesn't, he never ceases to amaze me with the creativity. And I mean, you know, we were made in his image and his likeness, and we get to create like he does. Um, but when you pause to actually look at what he created and how he did it, it's very fascinating just to kind of go, wow, God, like really that's what she wanted it to look like. That's what she decided was right. It's very interesting. And it is perfect. It is exactly what it should be, you know. I don't know how far we'll get today, but we are just gonna do what we do. See what happens. If you are watching, you can tell me where you're from. Tell me if you're an artist. Tell me if you what you like to do, what you like to paint or draw or create. Um, and yeah, let's hang out. Let's get to know each other. I've got my chat next to me so I can see if anybody comments. Kind of go from there. I'm so thankful that God gave me a techie husband that can help me figure this stuff out. And I mean, it's only fair, right? If he's the one that made me quote unquote made me do it, then he should have to help me get online and make it work, right? You made me do it. I'm typing in the chat. So anyone who joins later kind of knows what's going on. We can kind of go from there. Fish eyes have always kind of creeped me out. So having to draw one is very funny. It's kind of interesting to have to put the white down in order to put um, the color in. It's kind of a different process, but yeah, it's just kind of the way it is when you choose to do a black canvas. But I really wanted my my hand is covered in pencil. I really wanted to. I really wanted the black canvas, like I said, to make it pop. So put the color in, put the stuff in. It'll look better. Definitely going to be a multi-step process here. We're not going to be finished today. That means you'll just have to come back and watch again. My goal is to get it at least to a a painted in enough to tell what it is face or state. Sorry about the dogs. My kids just got home. So we have a little Ruby that loves to bark. She's a little stinker. It's a little Morky Weenie, and she has a voice, and she gets going, and she doesn't know how to stop. We're working on it, but she's stubborn.
So this is definitely one of those things that I don't know. You just do because you want to partner with God, and I don't know what he's going to do with it. I don't know if it's just for me to get out of my way, to you know get through some of the fear, to um I'm not really sure, but I one thing that I do is I really try my best to listen, to be led, and to allow Holy Spirit to guide me, and um, and that looks like doing things that are you know harder or uncomfortable for me, but it's uh, it's a process of obedience. It's a process of showing up and trusting Holy Spirit to do what He's going to do, and to talk through me. Um, so yeah, it's definitely definitely pushes me out of my comfort zone. That is for sure. So, hi Peggy. It's nice to see you on here. I had breakfast with my Peggy this morning, and I told her that I was going to be brave and I was going to do this, and I'm here. I'm doing it. So, you just have to do stuff sometimes, even if it's not what you're comfortable with. So,
Trying to get my whites laid in here so that I can start getting some shape and definition here. And then it's tricky when you sketch it all out and then you come back. It's like, what did I put here? What was that? I'm not sure. I'm just gonna guess and go for it. So it's kind of funny. As long as we don't end up with an extra fin or something, I think we'll be okay. Ah, end up with an extra eyeball here. So funny. Mhm. Peggy, are you creating yourself? Or is it dinner time? I know it's like way later than I told you I was going to be on. But I'm doing it. I'm still here. Like, oh, way later. That's okay. Creating and really sticky. Oh my goodness. I love it. That's awesome. You're so cute. Trying my best not to get covered in paint. I'm like the messiest cook and the messiest creative. I just usually end up with it everywhere. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try really hard to keep myself clean because I'm actually wearing normal people clothes and not like my art painter clothes. I just didn't feel like changing. So taking a risk. I should be okay. I always tell my husband that I might be a messy cook, but I'm a really good cook when I want to be. Don't really love cooking, but I can cook. But I like literally looks like a bomb went off in the kitchen when I'm done. So there's that. think one thing that makes this painting a little tricky for me is that I don't have a reference photo. So I kind of have to imagine a light source and how it would hit each little water wave and or how it would hit the fish. And like I said earlier, painting on a black canvas is it's upside down. It's not upside down literally, but it's like not normal art. Like you have to paint the highlights in so that you can even have the color show. So it's just an interesting way to think about it. And I mean, the beauty of paint is that you can go over it. So if I mess up, it's you know, yeah, come watch you play with resin. I can imagine that stuff is some amazing and crazy, I'm sure very sticky stuff. I I don't know, like I'm I'm super creative, but that stuff just kind of boggles my mind. I love watching it on reels and shorts and things, how they make like the tables and the out of the like what redwood tables and things, and they put the colored epoxy in there, and it's just so beautiful. I love those. I want one so bad. It'd be amazing. One day. Maybe I'll have to come learn from you, Peggy, and you can teach me so I can make myself a table. It'd be fun. These scales are going to be something else. I had no idea. I had a Oh, that's fun. I love that. You'll have to send me pictures when you guys do that. When I was drawing these scales in, I realized that fish scales are actually really intricate and kind of confusing. So I'm hoping that I drew them in well enough that they're good enough, but they're like offset. It's really bizarre. I've always drawn fish scales like the cartoon way, where it's like M's over and over, just little M's. And they're not like that at all. They're actually more like a chain mail, and they kind of overlap, but they have gaps. Um, it's very interesting. I was like, huh, I think I've ever looked at fish scales like that, but they're very interesting. He's coming alive. Can start to see this little guy. It's exciting. If you're just joining, you can chime in on the chat. Let me know where you're watching from and um, what your mode of creativity is. What do you love to do? What do you love to create? Are you a writer? Are you a artist? Are you a crafter? I'd love to know. Just saw somebody join, so uh, let me know what you do. And you don't have to, of course. All right, here goes these scales. I gotta get a smaller paintbrush though. That one's gonna be way too big. I have my favorite paintbrushes, and I think I've misplaced them over the years of like where they are, and so I'm having to kind of figure that out again. I don't know when I'll get to jump back on to finish this or keep painting on this, but it'll be eventually. Eventually it will. I have a bad habit of starting paintings and then not finishing them. I get them to the point where you can see what they are. and then they just wait and they wait and they wait. So that's part of why I've had a hard time wanting to um, take on projects for people is because I know my tendency is to start something and then it takes a while. And um, again, part of that is just busy life, but part of it is, I don't know, probably honestly, if I'm really honest, it's just self sabotage. It's just that, like, I don't know, accountability to finishing something. And it, I just tend to kind of go, one day, but then I have, 10 half finished paintings in my house for one day. So I remember one year I refused to start another crochet project because I crochet also. And I was like, I'm not going to start another project until I finish the project I'm working on. I'm like, I'm not allowed to buy yarn until I use the yarn I have and use the art supplies that I have. So it's very, it's definitely a pattern, unfortunately, for me, but that's okay. I am aware of it. That means I can work on it, right? uh, I don't know if you do that at all, but I definitely do, where I just start things. I'm excited about these scales, actually. It's going to be really quite fun, I think. I've got some metallic paint that I'm going to put accent on when I get to that point. Very excited for my friend to get this painting. So it's definitely going to be one that I finish. I just have to stay on myself, keep myself accountable. Hmm. As I create, usually I am talking to Jesus, usually asking him questions. I like to I like to increase my awareness of him whenever I can, because I want to be in a place of abiding with him, of being aware of his presence all the time. I want to be able to find him in the room that I'm in all the time, no matter what, that no matter where I am or what I'm doing or what situation I'm in, that it's a simple shift of attention, of focus, of okay, oh, Holy Spirit, where are you in the room? What are you doing? What are you saying? What do you want to tell me? What do you want to talk to me about? So as I'm painting and I'm quiet, I'm just talking to him and asking him, to talk to me as I paint, talk to me as I paint these shapes, what does he want me to know? What does he want you to know? Does he have a word for someone that's watching? Does he want me to say something, do something specific that would show his love to you? Um, so when I go quiet, I'm just talking to him and praying and thinking, being aware of him. It's kind of a bummer that YouTube doesn't allow you to live stream and have music unless it's like a certain type. Um, because of royalties and things like that, they'll actually block your stream or mute it. So I'm not able to have any worship music or anything in the background, because I am not a musician and I can't write my own music to play in the background. So anything I play is going to be somebody else's. And I don't want to be blocked or muted. So that means I just have to have quiet background, um, which it is what it is. Keep wanting to sing. I will spare you, but I just keep wanting to sing. I think I don't know, it's just what I do. I'm a worshiper. I love Jesus. I love singing to him. I love talking to him. So I'm going to get some water. It's been since Mother's Day this year since I painted, so May. It is November now. So, how many months is that? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 6 months since I painted last. And before that, um, I started a painting. There you go. I started a painting. I started a painting of some lifesavers um, on my brother's birthday last year. So, about a year ago. His birthday's in September. And I was grieving, having a really hard time with his passing. And I took a bereavement day and I came home and I started painting lifesavers because my my tradition with my brother has always been, and I don't know why, I don't know where it started. It was probably because as a family, as growing up, we had a very small Christmas budget, and so I had to make it stretch. I had to make it stretch as far as I could to get something that each of my family members could enjoy. And my brother always got a lifesavers book. So they at Christmas time they make a little lifesavers book. It's got 4 or 6, I think it's yeah, 4 or 6 packs of lifesavers in it, and a cute little picture of Santa or reindeer or whatever on it. Um, but that's what I could afford, and so I would get him a lifesavers book and something else every year. And as we grew up over the years, I would mail him a lifesavers book. So it was just kind of our thing. Um, and I don't know what he ever thought of it, but it meant something to me. And so on his birthday, I was just thinking about him, and I decided to paint lifesavers and remember him. And I cried and I painted, but it's been a long time, and I always forget how much I love painting. Um, it's kind of funny because painting was always something I was honestly super scared about. Uh, I always liked the control of markers and colored pencils because they were they were controlled. You knew exactly where your color was going to hit, and you could control it. And the paint brushes, they're wiggly and they're not in control. I can't control it. I can't control how the paint hits the canvas. I can't control how much paint goes on at a certain time. Maybe more experienced artists have that down, but for me, it's so unpredictable. I'm getting better. I mean, where I can kind of know what I'm doing a little bit and then have things happen the way I want them to. But I never wanted to paint as a kid because there was no control. It was just messy and unpredictable, and it was too scary. And so when I would do colored pencil, I would actually color so hard that my hand would cramp up. And because I wanted every inch covered, I wanted it perfect, I wanted it controlled, and all of that. And one day I decided that I was just gonna paint, and I painted a dogwood flower for my great aunt and uncle. And I found out, I don't know if I found out and then painted for them, or if I found out afterward that my great uncle had started to play around with painting. And I probably found out afterward because I probably wouldn't have painted for him if I would have known that. he was a painter because I was so insecure about everything. Um, art wise, just, if someone else did it, then I wasn't going to be good enough. Um, it's just bizarre what the brain does. Um, but I painted it for them, and then they moved and they gave it back to me, so it's hanging in my bedroom. But um, and then that kind of started to get me interested in more, and I started to um, learn a little bit more, and then I started to learn about kingdom creativity and partnering with Jesus to create, and um, it took the pressure off. It took that perfectionism pressure off of me to um, just come into the presence of God and like enjoy myself instead of always striving for some perfection and some amazing masterpiece. Like if I did something, it always felt like it had to be a masterpiece, but it never was, and so it would frustrate me. And I started to kind of get over that and started to learn about just co-creating, and it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It just has to be a moment, just a moment with Jesus where you just surrender and you say, God, okay, God, what do you want to do? What should we create today in this moment, in this time, in this space? And how do you want to talk to me? Um, how do you want to do this? And then leaning in and listening and co-creating with him. It just becomes such a beautiful thing and such a pressureless thing when we create with him, instead of putting all that pressure on ourselves to perform and earn and be good enough. And it's like, I don't have to be good enough. I don't have to be enough. I already am enough. I don't have to earn it. I don't have to strive for it. And the wonderful thing about paint is if I get it wrong, once it's dry, I just go back and fix it. And colored pencils and markers are not that forgiving at all, which is I was in control. But I absolutely wasn't in control. Like if you mess up, it is like your marker or your colored pencil, it's there. Um, they don't erase. And so I think the beauty of paint is that you can just go over it. You can go over it as many times as you want. And I guess in a way, that's kind of how life is, right? We try something and maybe it doesn't work out. And the beauty of it is we can go back to God and say, okay, God, help me do this. Help me do this differently this time. Help me understand better. Help me see you more. Guide me in this. And we get to try again and again and again, just like our painting, just like our craft. Just try again, try again, try again. I think it quickens the process when we create with Him and we listen to Him and we move with Him and focus on Him. Work so hard. We can just be in that place and go, okay, God, what's next? What's the next step? What's the next piece? And trust Him and lean into that because He's faithful and He's good. So definitely going to have to come back and work on this little guy later. but I wanted to get him at least started. Push play, right? Push record, push live. Do it brave, do it anyway. And then we'll do it again until he's finished. So you guys get to be on the journey with me to paint this beautiful prophetic word of hope and provision and new life and resilience. And yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be awesome to, um, guess my comment took too long. No, I'm here. I'm here, Miss Peggy. I'm still here. Oh no! I don't know why they're getting rejected. I see it now. I'm sorry. I want to hear from you. I'll have to check the settings on comments, Miss Peggy, because I don't know. This is the first time I've done it. I don't know how YouTube works or what the permissions are. I think when I was setting it up, it said that it had like um, a 60-second delay. So a comment could come in every 60 seconds or something like that. So I may have to change that if I can. Um, they say it's too long. Huh. I'm sorry. That's a bummer. See, you're learning with me because then when you get to do this, then you'll kind of have an idea of what it looks like and how it works. When if. So, yeah, definitely is something that I will be doing more of. I'm glad. I'm glad, Miss Peggy. I know I miss creating together and being in the room, but I I feel I believe that in person is always going to be in my heart. That's my dream. Um, is always in person and painting together and creating together and um, but online can reach more people and build a bigger community for us creatives. That I think my creative journey has always been very isolated and very alone and very, it's just me and my stuff because honestly it's kind of a vulnerable place for me, being creative and showing people my creativity. It opens myself up for their criticism, for their judgment, for them to say, "Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of weird. That's kind of odd." Um, like painting a fish live for the first time. It's not pretty. It's not typical maybe, but I don't do things typical. And I guess I just really felt like this was it. Like this was the one that God wanted me to start with because it was just time to say yes. And building that community, building up each other and not creating an isolation. I think it's important. I think we have so much isolation in our lives that that we do need to come together and we do need community and we do need to be able to create with each other and um, not just always be an island to ourselves. And I remember when my kids were littler, I did paint parties where I would actually travel and um, do mobile paint parties and teach mostly kids, but I did a couple of adult parties as well, teach them how to paint. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. Um, and I plan to do it again. I love it. I miss doing it. Um, but uh, they would, it was like community, um, and getting to do it with people. And then my daughter would come in and she would always want to paint with me. And when I first started, it was like, oh no, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And then I was like, you know what? I'm literally like, there's no reason that she can't paint with me. There's no reason that she can't be a part of this and be in this world. And what better way to train her than to just let her be? Like, let her come in and let her paint with me and enjoy creativity and enjoy mommy time. And so we started to create together. And um, she started to come and do the paint parties with me. And it was just so beautiful to watch her walk around the room and help people, get them paint and help them paint what we were painting. We did elder care homes, and she would come with me and she would fill their paint and she would help them paint their trees and she would help them paint their landscape, whatever we were working on. And it was just such a gift. And she actually comes and paints windows with me. So we pack everything up and we go paint windows together. And it's the best. I love having community. I love painting with my daughter. And um, it's just so precious to me. I think part of it is just the fact that she is an artist and she's amazing, and I want to help her grow, and I want her to see that, yes, Peggy, you did come with me and it was amazing, right? They're so sweet. Ah, they're so sweet. Um, and the lights come on and you can see their joy and they're like, wow, I did that. I love seeing them realize, even some of them had never painted, and they were, you know, older, and it was like, I did that? Like, I'm capable of that kind of creativity? I had no idea. And I'm like, that's a gift to see their light come on, their hope come on and go, wow, like I never knew that was inside of me. And it always felt like uh, just such a gift to me. Um, that discovery, that self discovery, that I got to be part of it, that I got to help them discover that little sliver of creativity that exists in them. And um, we did some um, memory care um, facilities too. I don't know, Peggy, if you were with me on those or not, but um, to see those guys light up, and they would. There was one lady, she sat through the whole class and she painted and she did a really good job, but she did not want to do it. She didn't want to sit down. She didn't want to paint. She's like, "Oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that." And we finally kind of convinced her. They settled her in, and they got her set up, and she was just painting along. She's doing her thing. I think she had to use the restroom or something. And she got up and she came back and she walked by and she goes, "Oh, what are we doing?" She's like, and then the one that she was painting, she stopped at it and she goes, "Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Who's doing this one?" She totally forgot that it was hers. It was so precious. And when we told her that it was her painting, that she painted it, she was just in shock. And part of it was the memory care, it was where her mind was at the moment. But it was just so sweet to see her marvel at her own artwork. And she just had no idea that that was inside of her. And whether she oh, you were there with that one? Yeah. Whether she was an artist, before and she just had forgotten, I don't know. But it was just so beautiful to see her joy and her wonder and amazement of her own creativity, and that she was more capable than she thought. It makes me think how many times we tell ourselves, "Oh, I couldn't do that," and if we just sit down and we just try, how much more could we actually do than what we give ourselves the room to try? We may not have the memory care issues, but how much do we shut ourselves off from just trying something? Um, you know, Maybe it's time to try something new again. Try try something different. Um, it's kind of like getting back into painting for me. It's like, hey, I go so far in between sometimes. It's like, do I actually know how to do this? But I do. It's there. It's always there every time. You sit down and it's there. But it's fun. These little scales are going to be tricky. They're itty bitty, itty bitty. He's coming together. I'm so excited. Can kind of see the little guy on there. The canvas starting to pop up, show up. All right, I think I'm gonna get this scale. I have like a few more scales. I'm gonna jump off and go join my family for dinner, and we will uh, we will come back on and go live again and continue to paint soon. Not sure when, but uh, definitely going to be a little journey here. Just want to get these scales done. It's kind of that, like, get it to a finishing point. Peggy, I will. I love you too. Thank you for jumping on and creating with me and talking with me. It's nice. I love you, my friend. It's tiny little details. So itty bitties. Can't wait to put color on this. It'll be so fun. And hopefully I've put all my whites in a good spot to make it all pop. We will find out when we get there. Find out if it's funky or good. I think I'm going to paint on this coin just a little bit. The light is kind of hard to see. All right. I think this might be where I land for tonight. I think got him enough to see him. A couple more scales to do here. Just song. Right, there's his little tummy. Alrighty, I'm gonna call it done for the night. And thanks for joining. I will pick it up from there.